So the conversation has started again. Is Coach luxury? Is it not luxury? What's up? What's down? Who knows? Today we're going to dive in and we're going to talk about it. But before we get into all that, hey guys, my name's Caleb. I post luxury and lifestyle related content every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. So if that's something you're into, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Go ahead and join our membership. We have an awesome engaged community, many of whom weighed in on this on our Coach sub forum. And it was really interesting to hear like what other people thought of Coach. Is it luxury? Is it not luxury? And I think this could honestly be a really interesting conversation with a lot of different perspectives. So Autumn Beckman started this, or revived this conversation a couple of weeks ago with her Is Coach Luxury video, and then Connor from The Closet chimed in, and then Dion Dean chimed in. And I was like, you know what, I've actually worked for Coach, so I might have a slightly different perspective that I can add to the conversation. I think in this luxury community, I have a few gripes, but today we're gonna keep it on track. We kick around the term luxury so freaking much. Like, just because something is overpriced does not necessarily mean that it's a luxury, if you know what I mean. To me, luxury is having a free Saturday to just like sit on the couch with my husband, binge watch something new on like Netflix or HBO, and maybe have like a cheap greasy pizza. Like that is like my pinnacle idea of luxury, or just having the free time to do whatever the heck I want. So at the end of the day, you know, like does an expensive handbag, is that necessarily luxury? Let's find out. To kind of understand or to build a foundation for this conversation, we need to ask, like, what is luxury? What is the Merriam-Webster's definition of luxury, which I have pulled up here, you're welcome. So luxury, it's a noun, surprise, who knew? It's the state of great comfort and extravagant living. That didn't really narrow anything down, did it? Like that is still a very ambiguous, very of your perspective, your definition of luxury. So let's take it one step further and figure out what the root term of luxury means and where it comes from. So to break down the etymology of luxury, the term luxury derives from the Latin verb luxor, which, contrary to popular belief, is not a scary casino on the Las Vegas Strip. It actually means to overextend or strain. So from this, the noun luxuria and verb luxurio developed, indicating immoderate growth, swelling in persons, animals, willful or unruly behavior, disregard for moral restraints, and licentiousness. Okay, we're getting somewhere. We're figuring it out. So from the root word, which means to overextend or strain, then that by definition is luxury. So from my perspective, whether it's a Coach bag, an Hermès Birkin, which I own both, either one could be technically considered a luxury, because what more do you need to carry your stuff other than like, say, like a $5 canvas tote? So by definition, Coach is already an extravagance. Like you don't need to spend, you know, I think they're what, $495 up to $1,000 now, unless you're lucky to get a boutique exclusive exotic for like a few thousand. You're already spending more than what you needed in the first place, right? Like by definition, that is already a luxury. So when it comes to my history with the brand, my appreciation for the brand, Coach was honestly like my first designer handbag, my first accessories. I remember, I think the very first thing I got was actually a Coach cell phone charm from the outlet, and it hung off of my cute little flip phone back in like 2006. Really aging myself. And then from there, I slowly built up to actually being able to buy a bag. My husband actually, I think, bought me my first Coach bag, which I still technically have, but for the full breakdown, you're gonna have to check out another video, which I'll link down below. And with the brand, I worked my way up through the ranks. Like all brands, whether that be cars, handbags, you name it, clothing, there are going to be different price points. And with Coach, it kind of starts out with the made for factory pieces. And then in my instance, I started from there, and then I worked my way up to like the Bleecker and the 65th anniversary legacy collection. I've got some very amazing pieces from Coach over the years, some very collectible pieces. In fact, this Eagle NYC tote I actually had to work harder for than any other bag I've purchased, which is absolutely insane for a Coach bag, but it's true. I had to work really hard for that, and there was that exclusivity, that rarity, that scarcity, which also kind of goes hand in hand with what is a luxury. Experience for me is also a big part of luxury. Like when I'm buying a bag, whether that be, you know, like one of these $500-600 Coach bags, or if I'm popping into, say, Gucci or LV or, you know, Hermès to buy something else that's much more upmarket, the experience really plays a big part in what I think of the brand, how I interact with the brand. And quite honestly, I think more times than not, my experience at a Coach store has far outweighed that of like when I pop into Chanel. That's not true. The Snell here in town is actually really good. You get what I'm saying? Like when I went into a particular very expensive luxury store and I got laughed at when I asked to see a wallet, We won't name names, but those who know, you know. To me, that's not a luxury. Like, I shouldn't have to feel less than as part of a marketing tactic to try and buy more to prove myself, which yes, they do that. They do that at luxury stores. I've never had that at Coach. Like at Coach, it's a fun experience. You're usually talking with one or two sales associates. You're geeking out. You're excited. You're looking forward to the new pieces. And that's not always the case at the higher end stores. Now, working at Coach, I learned a lot about exceptional customer service. I learned how to hand a shopping bag to a customer after they've purchased something, how to offer water, the direction in which you should stand inside of the boutique, which most people get wrong these days. You should never have your back to the front. It's like being on stage, honestly. Like you're always positioned toward the audience, which is the front door. You're inviting people to come in. If I have my back to the door, then you might not feel so inclined to come in. Other things that I learned while working at Coach, the art of the thank you card. After each sale, no matter how big or small, whether it was just like a $68 wristlet or a $700-800 Madison bag, I think that was like the big collection at the time when I worked for the company, you have to write a thank you card. So no matter big or small, every sale is worth it. So I think to kind of like wrap up my time working at Coach and the lessons that I learned, that regardless of price point, presentation is key. And for me, that is a real luxury. Interacting with the customer in such a way that makes them feel elevated, special, center of attention, that's a luxury to me, not necessarily the games. Now, currently, don't get me wrong, don't roast me in the comments, but I don't necessarily love current Coach's quality. I think some of the leathers are a little ambiguous. Refined, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by glove tan? There's really no way to measure that kind of stuff. I will say the quality isn't quite what it used to be, but the same could be said for Chanel, who now goes for twice the price that it did 10 years ago. So take that with a grain of salt. Now, I think that a lot of the times quality and durability get confused here in the luxury community. In my opinion, and by definition, a luxury is something that's extravagant, overextended, and kind of depends on your perspective. But I'm not going to necessarily walk into a designer boutique and buy something with like feathers and fur on it and then expect to be able to wear that every single day because it has like that quality name associated with it. It's a luxury. It should only be worn for special occasions. So I think that is a big thing to consider, especially in this debate. Now, quality is still incredibly important. Now, I don't think you should be going into, say, Chanel, spending $13,000 on a jumbo, which sounds totally gross to say out loud, and then have to worry about like the hardware falling off or chipping or discoloring, or like the leather not holding up. Like something like that, like an everyday piece, should still be able to withstand the rigors of everyday life. To kind of wrap this up, I'm gonna have to say that yes, Coach is technically a luxury, and at the end of the day, it all just really depends on your perception, your income, your background, your ideas, what you value is going to dictate what luxury is to you. I don't necessarily feel luxurious when I'm out carrying like a Louis Vuitton monogram bag, just because it's something that you can literally see on just about everybody when you're walking around the streets of Chicago, or especially out here in the suburbs. But if I have like my Suhali Louis Vuitton, then I kind of feel amazing, or one of my Tyga bags. Luxury brands, they're all just a mindset. Like there's literally nothing that this bag can do that this bag can't. Luxury brands are not luxurious by definition. They're all about a mindset, a perception. For you, the consumer, does carrying a Coach bag make you feel really good about yourself? Is it a fun experience? Did you have to save up for that bag a little bit? Then yes, by definition, that is technically a luxury item, a luxury brand. Again, like what might be luxurious for you might not be luxurious for me, vice versa. Does carrying the Coach bag make you feel exceptional? Awesome, great. Don't let me or anyone else tell you what is luxury, what is not luxury. At the end of the day, what matters is how you spent your hard-earned money, how you feel, and enjoying life. Like at the end of the day, these are just handbags. So like, let's put that into perspective. Like, do we need it? No. So it's a luxury. Anyway, guys, I hope this was fun. I hope I added something new to the conversation, maybe a new perspective. Until next time, guys, stay safe, have fun. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.